Welcome to Present Poetry, a podcast where we sit back, relax, and enjoy some poets of the past and present. I'm your host, Erin Crittenden, and before we get started on this week's episode, I want to remind you that all of the material used in this podcast is either public domain or used with permission from the author or the author's estate. It's a fun time for all ages, so sit back, relax, and get ready to hear this week's featured poet. This week's featured poet is Donavan Barrier. Donavan Barrier is a poet and writer from Michigan City, Indiana. His work has been published in the Polk Street Review, the Spill the Ink Poetry Zine, and Pan-O-Ply magazine. When not writing creatively, he works as a journalist for the Porte County Herald-Dispatch. We are reading a few of his poems that he submitted to us through the forum at presentpoetry.com. This poem is called For Irina Sibuk. 1,000 people carried you to rest. 1 million across the globe heard your story. 1 nation mourns its daughter. 1 tyrant will pay for your death. 1 generation is close to liberation. 1 spirit will live on in glory forever. This poem is called I Hear You. I don't know your pain, and I never will. Torn from your roots, planted in acidic soil, made to speak a tongue not yours, while condemned for speaking your own. Close family is now distant relations. Though you're made in his image, you're told and shown otherwise. I want to help you, but I can't. It's not my place, nor in my power. All I can do, and it's a poor offer, is to tell you this. I hear you, and you are not alone. This poem is called War Children. I study the sentinels of the coming future, strapping their dress blues across their torsos. I watch them place the cloth our grandparents died for on the harness just above their groin. Gently they adjust, like good mothers with children, our drooping tri-colored safety blanket. Then they glide on polished leather, synchronized, solemnly. Eagles at low altitude. A drill sergeant's voice, one of grit and gravel, rises from the slender throat of someone who hasn't yet turned 15. Forward, march, left, 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 hold, present colors. They do their task and march away, and those of the old guard lift their crippled fingers above their dying eyes, finally understanding the honor bestowed upon them years ago that they now give to this generation of warriors. They, like me, look on with a proud sorrow as the boys and girls turn and sink away from us. Baby steps. The first of many into the fog of wars yet to come, and, potentially, some of the last they'll ever make. This poem is called Towers. Step by step, floor by floor, minute by minute, second by deadly second, they trudge onward, up a mountain of steel, heading towards the light to deliver us from the dark, not knowing which waits for them in the end. This poem is called Fire Call. A burning bush of metal and fabric, ignited gasoline and phosphorus backed by a black-blue night sky, half past midnight in late winter. A hero braves the flames with a tube of H2O on his shoulder, in return for nothing but a handshake and a story. Meticulous he moves, up, down, and all around, soothing the blaze and cooling the air. Once done, the smell of formaldehyde, burning hot dogs, and candle wax stuffs our nostrils. On a closer look inside the remains, what was alive a moment ago is now something no one would believe was once human. A medic with fat arms and a greasy grin says, "Your turn now, boys. I don't envy you tonight." Really funny. We pull her out. Coroner arrives. 4 hours of work. Back at the station they say, "Good job, boys. Have a good night. See you next time." But no one sleeps. Not after that. The veterans of us maybe get a few hours. Meanwhile, whoever was in there, in that red-hot tomb, will sleep forever. Thank you for listening to this week's episode of the Present Poetry Podcast. If you enjoyed the show, feel free to like us, leave a review, or share us on social media. If you are a poet or you know someone who is, we would love to hear from you. You can reach out to us or submit your work through our website, which is www.present-poetry.com. Again, that is www.present-poetry.com. We can't wait to hear from you.